Hey everybody, this is Hayden. I just wanted to make a video to talk about dysphoria and why surgery is so important to people that are transgender, and also to give my opinion on sort of how you have to have dysphoria, body dysphoria, to be transgender. I am 33 years old. I started testosterone about 5 years ago, and I had top surgery in February. For me, when I grew up, I always presented as a male, but called myself female. Transgender wasn't really a word that any of us knew. It wasn't something that was made known or talked about. No one told my mom, hey, I think your kid's transgender. And I was really embarrassed about how I felt and thought that I should feel like a girl. So I tried really hard to think that way, and I just could never do it. Every time I would put on female clothes, I would be so uncomfortable and just really hate myself. And even every time I heard myself referred to as female pronouns, I may not have realized it at the time, but it really, it jolted me on the inside. When I was growing up, I didn't take care of myself, and a part of me is really ashamed to say that, and embarrassed, but it's the truth. I didn't care about myself. I wouldn't shower, I wouldn't do any sort of care towards how I looked. I didn't really care about anything in my life, because I wasn't happy, and I never knew why, and I never knew how bad it was until after I started my transition, and I look at how I am now and realize that I was basically dead the entire time. So I went to prison, and in prison was when I really got the chance to get diagnosed with gender dysphoria and really talk about how I felt. And at first it was kind of embarrassing. At first I was like, no, I can't be that. That's weird, and people like that must be weird, and there's something wrong with me. And then the more I talked about it and the more we dove into that mentally, the more I realized that I was. And even though it scared me, and even though people say that you should be ashamed or that that's not real, it is real. And once I started having them use male pronouns, and once I fought to get on testosterone, there was such a huge change in me almost immediately. Just hearing the male pronouns just really made me feel so good about myself. And even though there was a lot of people, staff and inmates, that gave me crap about it, I really did feel good about myself. And starting the testosterone really helped. It took me from what women call a stud, who is a female who's fine with being a female that looks more like a boy, into a man. And just the things in life that normal people don't think about, like my voice getting deeper, and even though I don't have a lot of facial hair, just the parts that have grown in, to not having to have a monthly, all of those things have really helped me to love who I am, and made me sure that I am a male, no matter what I was assigned at birth. When I got out, every little step that I took, from changing my name to my gender marker, and all the way leading up to top surgery, it's been so amazing. I used to I used to imagine what it would be like to cut my own boobs off. Ooh, that's a hard word to say for me. I would sit, because I'm a cutter, and I would sit and think about, well, I was a cutter, but I would sit and I would think about what it would be like to just take one of those blades and just cut it straight across and just watch it all leave. Like, I wished it was that simple, because that's how bad my dysphoria was with my chest. I hated it so bad that I would wear really baggy clothes and hunch over, and even though I wore a binder, I still felt like it was so obvious, and that was one of the reasons why I felt like I would never pass, even on T. I do pass completely. Even before surgery, I passed. I don't ever get misgendered. I do get that I look a lot younger than I'm supposed to, but I don't get misgendered anymore. But dysphoria is really bad, and I think that you have to have dysphoria, even if you don't have bottom surgery, even if you can't have top surgery because of support or because of medical reasons. I think that you still have to have that dysphoria to be a trans man. And I say that because being transgender means that you were born in a body that you don't identify with, and having those things really makes you acknowledge the gender you were born as. And there's a lot of talk about bottom surgery, and I go back and forth with it all the time. I want it, but I'm worried about medical advances and obviously cost and the results. And so I try to tell myself that I'm fine as long as I have a packer. And I do think that some people can be fine never having that surgery. But the dysphoria is still there, and I think that that's important, because not only does it mean that you're in the wrong body to match your mind, but it helps people understand that you're in that wrong body. If you say you're a trans man, but you go around like the people on YouTube that Calvin talks about, and you're flashing your chest and showing some cleavage, to me, you're not trans man, because a trans man would never do that, would never feel comfortable with that, and doesn't want to acknowledge that part of them. After having top surgery, I felt, man, so much better. It's a little weird still to go out without a shirt on, just because I've done it for 32 years of my life. But it feels amazing. I stand taller, I sit taller, I wear shirts that fit better, and I love looking at myself in the mirror, and I love taking a shower and seeing it. And to me, that's the best thing that could ever happen, because I literally did not care if I was gonna live or die. I literally didn't care enough to clean my body off, or to wash my clothes, or to make friends, or anything, because I just hated myself so much. And now that I have this surgery, I feel like I'm truly a man. I'm truly making those 4 movements that I need to make, and I really feel like, even though I already passed, now I definitely pass. And so I just wanted to share that, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people looking at me now, and how well I take care of myself, and how confident I am, and how I present myself, would never know that there is a part of me that they used to not care at all. And even though it's embarrassing and it's hard to talk about, that's still the truth. And I would cut, and I would lie, and I would pretend and I would do all of these things because I just didn't care about myself as a person. And starting my transition and doing the hormones and changing my name legally and my pronouns and my gender marker and having chest surgery really, really made me feel like I was a person again. And everyone in my family has noticed it. The friends that I do have that I had before have really noticed it. And so I felt like I owed this to them too, to let you know that your support was what helped me get through this, what helped me be brave enough to transition, and that even though I had no self-worth before, I do now, and I know who I am now.